lot of
That's greenwood.
goes first. my air here.
Yeah. So the dirty socks in the video.
Are you good coffee?
Yeah.
I mean, coffee, my cup.
Yeah. Good for response. But because it's not really balanced, you don't taste it as much somehow. I mean, it's the same. It's nice. Oh, well, it's so nice without the wind. Oh, the wind is nice in the summer.
Yeah. It's really in the summer too. How good is like Sicily is not particularly windy.
Depends where, maybe no.
That's why
Still high on it.
I wonder like if this eastern coast is more windy.
Yeah.
Because places like Tuscany is not windy at all, like where they inspired where I'm from.
Portugal is very windy.
Exactly, like we went from a windy place to windy. Because you remember when we came in September?
Yeah.
It was also super windy. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Maybe we'll put some sugar back.
Yeah.
I mean, outside job on it, so it doesn't help. No.
Both of these connected.
Decent.
Not bad, no?
Yeah.
They make it.
This is from Antigua. From Antigua.
Antique.
Antigua. It's for Nautilus croissant wasn't that great for me either.
It is better, I think.
Yeah, maybe it's better.
Oh, just from yesterday morning. What is today?
I don't know.
No, Thursday. No, I don't know. Do you want some of this?
I don't think so.
I'm full.
It was an interesting choice to put at the first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The opposite one. And it is just the paradise bliss. Also this apple.
Yeah. Tell me how could I ask for.
Usually what I do is like non sabbiose croccanti.
Quali sono non sono sabbiose?
Quelle non sono sabbiose e belle croccanti.
Yeah?
Belle croccanti. O croccanti. Because the last time that you were saying, no, don't buy those are from the supermarket. That's just the kind of apple.
Mm.
And I remember actually it was Fuji, no, it was not Fuji.
Pink lady.
Pink lady. Like those ones are always really crunchy and fresh. I don't know. This one is good. I think these one are good to make like apple sauce. So.
Cinematic shots is nice. But having life on show is also a bit of energy.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful to also watch back and kind of put it together.
For me, that's my favorite part, like the memory part of like taking video for me is more about making memories than anything else.
And there's a way to accept like self-consciousness too, at least for me. I don't know, like snorting or snorting, or what do you call it? Like, I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that on camera.
But that's, I think, the more real it is, the more kind of relatable it becomes.
Yeah, but relatable still sounds like a gain. But I mean more for, I guess, self-acceptance is also a gain. But more just like letting go and it's like, it's okay.
No, but like I don't mean it as a thing to gain from. More like I don't think people want to see you perfect all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the point.
Yeah, that's true.
Like for what else reason do you put it on YouTube? Like you can keep it on your computer if you don't want to be on it. Bang.
Got this always done this morning.
Just machine.
It's done now, yeah. Should already hang. That'll probably be a good idea. Should we do that?
We can talk while we hang.
That's true, also.
Everything will fit.
It might, but I don't know if it'll dry well.
Why not?
Well, if it's very close, there's less space to breathe. I think there's a lot of cat hair in the washing machine.
A lot of cat?
Hair. I see a lot of cat. Like, I mean, maybe it's you.
Flies.
I think.
I like to put the socks there the same together so you
Why do you put your socks?
I prefer to put them together, it's faster than to connect them. Sometimes I think I'm a bit OCD and it's under ADHD.
They're probably related. As a way to control this ADHD chaos.
I think it's better to put this on the side so we have a lot of space for bigger things there. Do you think you need some clippers?
It's not very windy, so it'll be fine. black socks. Very similar.
Which one?
No, just some of them.
Yeah, no, it's fine for the black ones. We do what we. Oh, finally. Sneaker shoes. Oh, we also have the shirts. Maybe you put this somewhere?
No, I guess it's just here.
There are dogs close by. Even yesterday I was hearing one from there.
Oh. So, yeah, we came back here on the 29th of December, and I mean, this is our new home that we hope to make our real home for a while. Yeah. And we only moved in here a few days before, and then we already went to Belgium for Christmas. So we came back here on the 29th, and then we got a message that the electricity was off. And when we came here, like, there were no lights, there was no heating, and
No water.
No water, because it uses a pump to pump it. So we kind of try to figure out how to turn it back on.
And also, we were both pretty sick, like me especially, and then you got sicker, I think. So we slept on the couch because we couldn't figure out how to turn the electricity on, even though it was, in the end, it was really easy, and we just needed to turn it on from the, how do you call it, like interrupter in like the level outside.
Yeah, exactly. There's a kind of switchboard inside, and everything was on, but there wasn't any current or any electricity. But we didn't know that there's also, I mean, the connection to the grid there, and the switch was off because something triggered it, and we're still trying to figure out why that happens, because the blackouts or those interruptions still occur. But yeah,
we're investigating.
Yeah, we're trying to find out. But yeah, it kind of, at least for me, it brought up a lot of like, okay, shit, this is difficult.
And it's not the first time. I mean, we already lived off, like, semi-off grid in Portugal, and back then when things start to get difficult, we just left. And this is our pattern, like, to live when things get a bit more difficult, especially with the home situation, I feel. Not with other things, maybe so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that, I mean, it's very natural to kind of start thinking like, oh, maybe going back to the city will be easier, or...
Because we just come from the city also, it was so easy, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, you know, going traveling again and being in Airbnbs where, like, things are more taken care of, and it's tempting, and yet we know that we choose this life. I mean, we want to live more rurally, more in the house, more in the countryside, and not, you know, more in the south, where also maybe there are certain problems.
Without maybe.
No, we're like, I mean, I was talking to my dad, for instance, and he was also saying like, yeah, also in Norway there are blackouts, like people are without electricity for days, but maybe more remotely, or snowstorms and whatever. So it's not just about the south, but yeah, infrastructure on average here is not as good as the more in the north. But yeah, so I mean, on that day when we came back here, like for me it was like very difficult because we were already really tired after all the travel and moving to this house and searching for a house, then finding this, then moving here. Then straight away there were some problems we had to solve, then already packing to leave. Then we're both a bit tired and like
I was on my period and I was like really without energy. I was so tired, and we had to clean the whole, like our previous home that we left, the Airbnb that we left, and was full of mold, so there were so many problems there too. And we paid quite a bit for that too. And then we came here and there were problems here, and we had to unpack everything here and then to pack back to move to go to Belgium, and then they lost our luggages. Like there were so many little pieces that made the whole thing really tiring and difficult. And I think both of us, we both thought like, we're not made for this. No, like maybe we need to go back to the city.
It's like, I mean, being on that, I slept on the mattress on the floor because I couldn't even fit into the couch. And
you're too long for southern places.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, we were like, it's cold. We tried to do a fireplace, but the wood we have here is very humid.
It's green.
Very wet. Probably if we were better, we could have made it work, but we didn't.
Well, it's green wood. Do you think so? I don't know.
I mean, I was adding it on top of the fire that was already on, and it was fine. So, but we didn't have enough of the things to start, maybe. But anyway.
Yeah, because okay, let's do a little adding another thing here. Like we arrived and the wood that we had here in the storage room, let's say, was all green wood that was cut like in October. Now we're in December, so it was cut like 2 months ago for next year, of course, because it's not good to burn that kind of wood. And then we asked for, we bought how many tons of wood? The guy that came, like 12?
I think it's quintales, like quintale, we got like 12 quintale, which I think quintale is like 100 kilos.
Okay.
So a ton and 200 kilos, I think.
200 kilos of...
A ton and 200 kilos.
I mean, we bought a lot of wood. Yeah. Like 200 euros of wood at least. And when the guy came, the wood was completely green. And so we just sent it back, basically. And then we left, and now that when we came back, we bought dry wood, and this time it works. So that it's at least like now we have something working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like lying down there on the, on the mattress and on the couch, like it was very cold, and I'm just like thinking like, wow, okay, this might be very difficult, and like all those thoughts are like, how are we going to live here? Because we need to work, we need to have electricity, we need to have enough heating to like even, thrive here or to feel good. Because if we're constantly cold, that's also difficult. But I don't know, like somehow in these, like when it gets really difficult, for me, it's almost like, it feels almost ridiculous in a way that it just feels funny. It's like, okay, what else or what other problems are going to be? And I almost see it like as a kind of test, or like, okay, how can I like sharpen this? And of course I also get frustrated sometimes, but somehow like, I don't know, I felt that was pretty positive in it all. And like, just like, okay, we need to solve this, we need to see what we can do.
Yeah, also because I was pretty negative, so I think you needed to balance out also my energy. I was super tired. And and you brought me a flower, which was really cute.
Yeah, well, that was the next day when electricity at least started to work. But
I was still like super frustrated because maybe it was getting off and on with the...
It was on and off, and you needed to do some work, and like,
Yeah, I think for me it's very much related to, I have responsibility, I have people that I need to respond to. like my clients, and I want to be sure that I can be available. And if we don't even have internet connection, or at least if we have it but it's not reliable, like I don't want to get on a call and, you know, in Italian we say fare una cattiva figura, which means like to give a bad impression to my clients. And, you know, think about what's the solution. Like, need to drive for hours to get internet, like Wi-Fi in a co-working or something, which there are none here. So I will need to drive till Monopoly.
Which is half an hour away.
Yeah. So, yeah, I get stressed about, like, this kind of stuff. I feel for you it's easier because you have, like, you don't need to, for now, you don't need to answer to anyone. Or, like, you don't need to jump on calls or, like, respond to clients. So now it's a bit better.
Yeah, exactly. But that was the thing that always stressed me also when we're traveling. Exactly. It's like, okay, is there going to be good Wi-Fi, or am I going to be able to do these calls? And like, which is
like, honestly, is the only thing that we need. It's not that we need much more.
No, but honestly, somehow we always made it work.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, somehow it always worked out, whether going to a co-working space or like walking out and getting 5G somewhere or getting Starlink or...
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. For me, I just feel more at ease if I don't have any calls and I don't have anyone to respond to. But even this with the setup, I still need to do work eventually to like keep earning. So it's more like, okay, it works right now, but long term is not really sustainable.
Yeah. But I think now we cracked a bit, not the solution, but at least now we have an app of Tesla for the batteries that we can look at to understand, okay, how much this electrodomestic is consuming, how much the induction in the kitchen is consuming, how much, I don't know, the washing machine is consuming. And so we can switch on and off things that are draining too much energy, which is not sustainable. But at least if we have like a call, if we have like a big thing coming, we can like adjust all the different things.
Yeah. For some context, we do have the connection to the grid here, which I think is the problem mainly here. But we also have solar panels, and in addition to the solar panels, we have Tesla batteries that are able to store energy. I mean, originally we thought it just stores like extra solar energy, but actually it also charges from the grid.
Which still, it's not clear to me.
So but anyway, that's and like this way we're able to also use the battery as a backup, which is nice, rather than like a generator or something. If power goes off, then we can use the backup battery for maybe, depends on how much is charged, depends on how much we're using, but it could be like from half an hour to 2, 3, maybe even more hours if we charge it fully. So yeah, with that app, we were able to see a bit better. And yeah, maybe it's not sustainable because now we're like, okay, we need to wash clothes, we need to turn on the dishwasher.
We need to do one thing at a time.
Let's do one at a time, just in case. Now with the sun, we do have more power available. In a way, I kind of like it, or at least like, you know, again, in that moment where it was really bad and where we just had the complete blackout and we didn't know how to turn it off, I was like, okay, maybe like, I guess I was like questioning like, okay, I need to work, I need all this electricity, but then I was wondering like, but maybe like also my lifestyle can change. Like, do I need all of that? And I know some like hardcore business people or entrepreneurs even argue that like, you know, the more energy you consume, the better, or like the, you know, that means you're being a productive member of society, or you're creating things. And to some extent, it's true in a way that we do need energy, and energy has allowed us to create so many things. But then also, like, how much do we really need? Or can we be a bit more, like, aware of what we're using and when? Because something feels really natural about, like, okay, we have solar panels, we can use more when there's sun.
Yep.
But when it goes dark, then probably there's more of a pressure on the nearest nuclear plants that are needing to produce more electricity, right? So we don't necessarily know the implications of that. But anyway, there's another rabbit hole for
Yeah.
I guess, energy, consciousness, or awareness.
What's like following the cycles of nature, like actually going to sleep when the sun goes down and waking up when the sun comes up, and yeah, just doing the productive things during the sunny hours. Yeah. There is this concept that my mom sent me. She's also, like, my parents are also from the south of Italy. And she sent me this post on Instagram that was talking about controra, something like that. I need to check it out. And basically it's the concept of having the window from 1 to 4, like in the south, as we always notice, like they don't work in those hours. They like close at 1 or maybe even earlier, and then they open at 4 or 5, because it's like in those hours of the day they just do nothing. They just eat, they are with their families, they nap, they go for a walk. There is just like, and now science is proving that those hours of the day are like so fundamental for our body to regenerate, and for like to reduce the it's called like the general stress in our body, and to live a healthier life. And no wonder, like, I'm always like, we always talk about this, like, no wonder population from the south are the most longev.
Yeah, have the highest life expectancy. I don't know.
Highest longevity.
Yeah.
I think because they take life little by little, slowly. They're not rushing anywhere. They take time to be with their communities, with their friends, with their families, to eat food and to chew the food, and like to take time to be there in the moment, and then go to work. But work is not like the final goal, almost.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It feels so different to like London, where I used to live, or most big cities, especially in like, you know, the Anglo-Saxon world, let's say, like the United States or the UK, or is like you buy a quick sandwich and you eat it at your desk while you're still like answering emails.
And that's almost like the highest thing that you could do. Like, it's almost like a badge of honor if the faster you are and the more like efficient you are with those things, the better. Yeah,
exactly. Or they just ultimately look at like what was your result, right? Like how much did you produce or create, and yeah, whereas here is like very normal to go on long lunches. I mean, I'm sure in Milan, those working in finance probably also have on average shorter lunches than like maybe shopkeepers here. No, of course. They might do the same thing, but that's still because it's closer to that world. But I like that, it's slower, and I don't know. I mean, growing up kind of very capitalistic and studying economics and business, I mean, I might have been of a different opinion, of like, yeah, of course, like, you can see the South countries are struggling because they're like barely working, or, it's a different economy. But who are we to say that they're struggling in a sense of like, not everything is defined just by higher GDP per capita. And it's funny because the thing that we get mad about when we come to the South, like to certain places, like nothing is working. Nothing, or maybe everything is working. Yeah, exactly. And I get mad, even though like I grew up in a southern place. I get mad when nothing is working, when like you always need to ask for favors for everything, and you always need to know people to get things done. But they don't want to renew things here. Like, we have this grid, like at least that's what the owner of the house told us. The grid is of the 70s, and they renew just piece by piece, and they don't renew the whole thing. They just renew a piece, once at a time. Yeah. And it's almost like in my head, it's like, this is so silly. Like, why they don't renew the whole thing? And then on the other side, I'm like, well, but maybe they just change what's necessary to change, and then don't change the whole thing if it's not necessary to change. Maybe. Yeah. So yeah, my very ADHD storytelling. No. It's I think it's great to kind of paint the picture because it's not the norm for everyone, or like people live in different countries, right? I mean, maybe in some it's similar, but yeah. I mean, it's also very easy to romanticize this like slow living or nothing works kind of. In the end, it can also be super annoying, and like, you know, you can't relax into things just working.
You cannot really be super productive. You can be a bit productive, but you cannot be super productive here.
Yeah.
Because you still need so much time to do so many things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't even have a signal here in terms of like the phone.
Yeah, we cannot make calls. So, I mean, we can.
Yeah, not to say like we don't have 5G, don't have 4G, but we don't even have like normal cell reception here. I mean, if we walk like on the road, maybe we catch it a little bit.
There is like one.
Yeah, like one bar, and maybe it's like a slow internet. But in a way, I kind of like it because, okay, assuming electricity works, which is also a thing we're figuring out. We have Starlink, right, which is the satellite to connect to high-speed internet. So we can turn it on and we can use it when we want to, but then we can just switch it off, and then we're kind of completely off the connectivity grid, at least.
And I mean, it's not that, I mean, there is still a town 5 minutes from here. If we need anything, there is a pharmacy, there is a bakery, there is there is a supermarket, I mean, mini market.
Yeah.
Very mini market. So it's like, we're not completely off-grid. We're like semi-off-grid.
Yeah. But for me, it's like it really activates this like curiosity of like how can we live? And I know you've been interested in these themes even longer because you went into eco villages and like working on these projects. But for me, it's like, yeah, like I guess designing. I don't know if necessarily the most sustainable way to live, but what's the way to live that supports
nature and
supports nature, supports me the most, supports like you know, like us and, you know, family and at the same time is like, because, you know, I might have my definitions like, oh yeah, what supports me is like I have my like, you know, high-speed internet, everything works, I don't need to think about it. But actually, is it really? Or am I just then glued on the screen and I'm never doing anything with my hands? I never have anything to like, I don't know, cool down or stop. But here instead is like, okay, maybe in lunchtime it's too hot. And rather than blasting air conditioning to be productive, I can take some time off.
Yeah.
So, you know, designing it in a way that's more natural, I guess, which is maybe hard because we're still in the technological world, like having Starlink.
We still make money also with that, like that's our how money enters.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I feel it's also normal that we're afraid of completely disconnecting, because that's how we survive. We pay rent, but I was thinking about like when you were saying, like when we were cooking, and I always really want to cook everything from scratch, or like I hate to buy ready things like from the supermarket and stuff like that.
Shit,
and it's full of additives, and really I cannot digest it. Like I feel bad, and we were discussing about the fact that it takes too much time, it takes too long, but maybe it's meant to take a long time, and it's meant to. But I was also noticing like how much you changed in this, like from like this being a very far option that probably will never arrive or will never be reached, like to now be almost your reality and maybe the thing that you're striving for. So I think also when you give people the possibility to live this life, they will not say no to that. Like when you give a taste of it, like because this is what's most natural to us, no?
Yeah, no, that's true. It's been very much like that, and I guess it takes like some readjustment because for me, it's like I was used to the comforts of the city, right? Like, I mean, there was even an understanding like where the water comes from or where the heating comes from. It's just like, okay, there's a heater, it works, it doesn't. I call my landlord, somebody comes, they look at something, they say, okay, it's done, and that's it. And now it's like, okay, this doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? How can I fix it? Okay, maybe if it's out of my expertise, also it's not my house, I call someone.
Yeah.
They're here, I still try to understand so that I can also try to fix it or resolve it.
It's so interesting also, like I feel like living in cities and living with all the comforts is like we lose touch with like the chain, the process of how did we get this table, how did we got this cup and this milk and these mandarins. There is this very cute Italian song that I was sharing with Nikita yesterday, that says to make a table you need a flower, and it's like teaching kids with this song the whole process. Like to make a table you need a tree, and to make a tree you need a fruit, and to make a fruit you need a flower, and so to make a table you need a flower. And it's very beautiful because I think living in this environment, it brings us back to the cycle of life, of how things are created, and we don't like get it for granted.
Yeah, don't take it for granted. Yeah.
Oh, can you hear the echo?
Yeah. Probably we can hear it through the mic also.
Yeah. I really love this reflection of the water.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the sun also after the wind of yesterday and the cold of the day before.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels really warm.
How is your eye?
Yeah, still a bit swollen. Feels about the same. Gets better during the day because it's warmer. But when I wake up, it's a bit closed.
This is the proof that we were in the cold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so getting really curious about like lifestyles and how to live. And like would I want to be, I don't know, in a country where things really work and just connected to the grid and that's it? Or do I want to be more off grid? If I'm more off grid, then, you know, where's a good place to be? Or like in what way to build it? I think for sure, like, I mean, we're more drawn to sunnier places, so solar makes the most sense. And then having batteries is also really helpful like this.
Yeah.
I mean, the wind and hydro, like, it's kind of harder because, you know, it's not, I mean, unless we have like really a flowing river through.
Also, they say it's like when you see the scale of efficiency, the wind, how you call it?
Yeah, windmills or
windmills
turbines
are the less sustainable, ecologically speaking. Like solar is considered one of the best. Yeah. Also for the body of the thing. The, I don't know how it's called, but that one.
To produce it, you mean?
Like to like waste it, how can you say? Like to recycle the body of the
Turbine,
wind
yeah.
thing is more difficult to get rid of.
Okay.
or to recycle. I don't know. There was like a scale of sustainability.
Okay. I mean, solar panels are also difficult.
Yeah.
But maybe they need like, you produce a little solar panel that already gives you a lot of energy, whereas for the wind turbine you have to build this massive thing to get some. So yeah, for instance, but also like I'm realizing that I kind of like the old ways of just using gas to cook, or even to heat. And I mean, it's in a way it's also relying on the grid, because I mean you can stock a lot of gas at home also and just use it for ages.
So gas technically is more extractive than electricity, no? I don't know. It's a question.
Electricity is a use of energy, like gas, or like solar, or the grid, which is usually nuclear, or so electricity is more of a consumption of energy rather than energy source itself.
Yeah, but I also prefer gas.
Yeah. No, natural gas is actually not, I mean, for the environment at least, it's not very bad, but maybe to produce it, to transport it, like, is also a thing. But yeah, so
We need to study.
Yeah,
to know more.
For sure. Lots of questions.
I did this course called EDE, and it's like a eco-village design education, and there they give you all the principles. And I remember there was like there was this discussion like, okay, but producing solar panels and wind turbines and blah 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 is still unsustainable, because when you need to compost them, when you need to recycle them, it's still very difficult to recycle. There are batteries and
sure.
So there was like a discussion about what is the best in between all of this.
Yeah.
Because there was the discussion about electric cars as well, like how we're gonna get rid of all these batteries or like recycle them. That's what's very interesting to understand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like electric cars, like you still need a lot of like uranium and all these metals to produce. And even the electricity you get, like where is that electricity coming from? Is it from sustainable sources or more like coal plants or nuclear plants? And I think it depends. In some ways, maybe gas is not always the worst. Or at least, like, even if you have a car, like, if the whole grid is down for days or weeks, like, you cannot move on it because you cannot charge it. Whereas petrol is like...
Or hybrid, as you have.
Yeah, which is basically a petrol car that's just more efficient. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll see. I guess for us, at least for me, I can say that this year is really about settling into a home, this one, but also like really thinking about buying one, and maybe hopefully already buying something. Yeah, hopefully buying something and really making it ours.
Yeah. Me too. Putting roots, building community, making friends, and move through discomfort with grace.
Yeah.